We have to encourage and support one another. We need encouragement. Encourage, we got to be strong. You got to be courageous. You got to be a conquering person. We remember the story about Moses and what his sister did. If we turn to Exodus, to the second chapter of Exodus, verses 1 to 10, I will not read the entire thing, but swing into action where in verse 3, but when she could no longer hide him, she got a basket made of papyrus reeds and waterproof it with tar and pitch. She put the baby in the basket and laid it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile River. Could you put yourself in that situation where you are taking your brother and putting him in a basket? And what did she do? The baby's sister stood at a distance watching to see what would happen. Soon Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe in the river, and her attendants walked along the river bank. And when the princess saw the basket among the reeds, she sent her maid to get it for her. When the princess opened it, she saw the baby. The little boy was crying. She felt sorry for him. And then his sister swung into action. We don't know if the parents, they were praying, but the little sister did something to make a difference. She did something to make a difference. She did not sit there and mumble or thought about anything. She swung into action. Then the baby sister approached the princess and said, "Should I go and find one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" She asked, "Yes, do." And the princess replied. So the girl went and called the baby's mother. So it seems as though there was some plan, some form of action. But what I'm saying is the encouragement and the support that this sister did for her brother. In anything we do, or anything we plan to support or help one another, we must have support. We live in a world of crisis. I will give you a personal example of myself that I experienced when the Prime Minister of this country and the special advisor to the Prime Minister of this country deserted me in the time of need. And do you know who sprung into action for me? God's church. The church sprung into action for me. When I made that prayer request, everybody was praying for me. They knew the problems. I could not afford a lawyer. A lawyer was $500,000. $500,000. I couldn't go to my wife. I couldn't go to my siblings. I had a mortgage to pay, 3 children at university. And I went to God's church. And they were in prayer for me. They fasted for me. They supported me in every sense of the word. They did that for me. But there was another plan. There was another plan. There were 2 ladies in church. They are seated here today. I don't want to call their names, and I know they will be upset if I call their names. They had a special plan for me. And I remembered what they did. I remember before I got there, I jumped the gun. All the other members of the board of directors, they took lawyers who charged them $500,000, $400,000. All I had was $80,000, and that was the end of it. And I told them, that I was going to represent myself in court. They thought that I was crazy. They thought I was mad because it was a high-powered case. But I was not. I didn't fear anything. When these two young ladies spoke to me and told me what they were going to do for me, they said, Annan, when you go on the box the day before, tell us when they will be cross-examining you. I did pass on the information to them. And do you know what those two ladies in God's church did? As soon as the cross-examination started, they were on their knees praying for me. And I was cross-examined for 90 minutes by 4 of the state lawyers. After the cross-examination, and I walked out of the room, the other lawyers came and they hugged me up. And they said, Mr. Ramnanansingh, they thought, or we thought, that you were the weak link in the chain, being unrepresented. Not knowing that there were two ladies on their feet praying for me while I was being cross-examined. Everything that came out of my mouth, God put it in my mouth to defend myself. But those two ladies, they uplifted me. They thought that I was the weak link in the chain. The lesson learned, I must say, is that this church, God's church, is our spiritual family. We are special people, We have been called since the foundations of the world. We may have ups and downs, we may have tips, we may have tiffs, probably old talk, whatever. But what I've learned over the years, when you're in trouble, you seek the spiritual family. You talk to them. You bare your heart to them. And they will support you. They will uplift you. They will encourage you in every sense of the word. That's the reason why I made the comparison, with Moses and what happened to me. And who I relied on? I relied on my spiritual family. And the second plan was to speak to these two ladies who I have trust and confidence in. And they took the time off when I was being cross-examined. And God put the words in my mouth. And they thought that I was the weak link in the chain. That encouragement, that support, those words of prayer have me where I am today. I have to hold on to every member of the church here and around the world, for the support, the love, and the encouragement they gave to me. There were people in the United States who were praying for me, who were aware of the situation. But the two outstanding people were the two ladies who stood up for me. The church stood up for me in my time of need. I want you to turn to Psalm 34, verses 4 and 5. Verses 4 and 5. I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from my fears. Those who look to him are radiant, and their faces shall never be ashamed. O taste and see, the way of the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. I would like to conclude again by saying I thank the members of God's church for rising to the occasion for me and the two ladies who did not let me down when they burnt their knees in prayer.